Hey guys, so today I thought I would bring you a new from Pixi video because this monstrosity showed up on my doorstep the other week and I haven't had a chance to try it, but I am dying to. So if you'd like to see what's inside this big, beautiful green box, then just keep watching. Okay, so I can't even get this whole thing in frame. It's as long as my arm. So this is this year's Pixi Pretties. Pixi collabs with YouTubers or influencers once a year where they'll come out with palettes that they work on together and they call them the Pixi Pretties collection. So this year they have 4 new products inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them out just so I can show them to you individually. But this is the box they came in and it is hashtag Pixi Pretties. You know what, I'm just gonna show you from here so you can see the entire thing. You can see that each of the influencers are featured on one of the outside covers. And then the products that they collabed on are in the center. So I'll tell you more about all 4 of them in just a second. So first off, we have this one. This is the Shapeshifter palette, and this is Pixi plus Promise. So they collaborated with Promise, this beautiful young lady right here. It says, I created this palette to help you enhance and define your best features. Get ready to be a sculpted goddess. Then we have this one right here. This one is Pixi and Makeup by Denise Mind Your Own Glow Radiance palette. This is what she looks like right here. It says, don't let anyone dim your glow. Find the perfect shade to match any mood with this beautiful versatile highlighter palette. So we've got contour and we have highlight. We have this blue one right here. This is Pixi and Tina Yong Tones and Textures eyeshadow palette. And this is Tina right here. It says, I've combined all my favorite shades to create this versatile eyeshadow palette that's perfect for any occasion. Whether you are after a natural day look or an evening glam, this palette has you covered. And then we have this one right here. This is Pixi and Louise Roe. It's the Cream Rouge palette. It says Cream Color Palette. This is what she looks like back here. It says Creamy Deliciousness. I created these colors for lips and cheeks. It's all you need in one palette. All right, so I guess we should probably start with lips and cheeks before we put any other powder products on. So you can kind of mix and match and create your own. I think I'm gonna stay away from the bottom rows. They're a bit too intense, and I think I'll go with more of like a neutral shade. I think I'm just gonna dip in with my, is this one, my Smashbox blurring foundation brush. I use this for cream blush all the time. I think I'm just gonna dip into these 2 right here, these like peachy nude shades, and try applying them to the cheeks. Okay, that's pretty. That's really pretty, and I like that I have a wide range of colors to use on my cheeks instead of just being stuck with like the 4 or 5 cream shadow sticks I have. Now for uniformity's sake, I'm going to take that second shade and also apply it to the lips. I feel like that's my perfect like your nude but better shade. I love that. The only problem is if you find a shade in here you love, the pans are so small you'll probably run through it very quickly. Okay, so far I really like this. Next up we have this one, the Sculptor Palette, and the names of all the shades are on the back, which is nice. It looks like we have a brightening shade for my skin tone, a banana shade, a contour, and then like a bronzing shade, and then 3 deeper shades. This one looks to be the coolest one. So I think I'll start with a little brightening and then maybe try a combination of these 2. I don't see myself using either of these, but you can swatch them. Yeah, I don't think I'll see myself using either of those, but start off with a little brightening powder under the eyes. This is just my Crown C531 brush. In the past, I've really loved Pixi's face powder palettes. They're really good. Okay, I like that. I feel brightened. Let's move on to the contour shade. I am just going into this one right here. And this is a Smashbox angled brush. It's definitely cool. I'm getting that like muddy shadow look. don't think I love that shade, so I'm going to move on to bronzing. I'm just gonna grab my Wet n Wild. I think this is part of the Pac-Man collection. I love using this one for bronzing. I'm gonna grab the peachy tone one first for the perimeter. That's very peach. Okay, it's okay. I'm not really loving the shades yet. I like the brightening powder. But this one is a bit orange. The contour is a bit too gray. So let me see what the next shade up is. Yeah, that one's very cool tone too. And then the deeper one. I don't know, for some reason I feel like this palette, it isn't working perfectly for my skin tone. But I'm gonna try dipping into the peach one and then that slightly darker tan one. You can see they're pigmented. And see what we can do. All right, so it worked okay, but from that palette, the only one that I'm like really loving is the brightening powder right now. I just don't feel like any of these shades are right for me. We have orange, gray, gray brown, and like, I don't know, like a really warm brown. None of them are like my right tones. But that's okay, I'm not the only skin color out there and I realize that. Next up, let's try this glow palette. Again, the shade names are on the back. These look very pretty. Like I could see these colors looking gorgeous on my daughter with deep brown skin. Ooh. The pinky tones always pique my curiosity. So these are some of the shades from the middle row. Those are pretty. Well, I don't think I can go with the darker one. I feel like I could probably mix all three of these together for a gorgeous glow. Now let me just see what the lightest shade looks like. Oh, it's actually golden. I was expecting a white highlight, but that is a yellow gold highlight, which I've learned over the years is not for me. Just swatch a couple more. We have like a peachy orange one, then a golden one. That gold one's like straight yellow. And then of course I'll just do the pink and the purple for curiosity. So we have the pink one and we have the purple one, which is surprisingly, maybe I mixed them up. The purple one is actually like a pink blue shift, and then the bright pink one here. Interesting, so my arm is all swatched up. Let's just do, I think this is like my quadrant right here, like these three, perhaps with a touch of that, but not likely. So this is just the, I think this is the Milani All Over blending brush. I use this for highlight quite often. I'm just gonna tap into those three. You get a lot on here, so let's see what it looks like. That's pretty. That is a little bit light, so I feel like I need to go a little bit darker. So I'm going to try, I'm gonna try more of the peachy shade one. See if it's a little bit deeper. No, okay. I'm gonna go in with the coppery one. All right, well, it's definitely blinding and beautiful. I just need to play with the colors to find which is the right shade combination for me. I'm gonna go in with that darker shade here on this side to see if it does look too dark by itself. It doesn't actually. On top of that blush, on top of the blush I had, this shade is actually beautiful. So it looks very intimidating on the back of my hand right here. On the cheeks, it's really pretty. I like that. All right, well, let me add in a little bit of the lighter shades just so I'm not too lopsided here. All All right, there we go. The sides are even. Now we can move on to our final palette from the Pixi Pretties collection, which is the shadow palette. And you don't know how excited I am to see some color in this palette. I feel like Pixi's palettes have always been coppers and neutrals. We've got blues and grays and greens and some purples, some pinks and orange. So I'm very excited to see that they have deviated from their standard shadow color options and they're branching out. So thumbs up. Just swatching a few here, but they look to be pretty pigmented, good formula. So let's put them on the eyes. This isn't going to be a tutorial, it's just going to be me trying out shadows. So I'm going to zoom through this so you can just see how they're applying as I'm applying them. Okay guys, so I finished one eye and I can already tell you my opinion of Pixi shadows has not changed. They are very, very, very dusty. Like you just so much as dip in and it kicks up so much powder. They require multiple applications of the same shades to show up. I did several coats of that first white shade, several coats of the peachy tan, several coats of the tan, several coats of the brown, and I still don't have much color in my crease. Then I went ahead and applied the shimmer shade with my finger, which was fine, but then I had to dampen my finger to really get payoff. I mean, the shade looks amazing swatched, but packed on, you really need like a fixing agent, a spray to get the color that you're seeing here to apply to the lids. So I'm still not a huge fan of Pixi shadows. They're just okay, but I feel like Maybelline has some better shadows. Milani has some better shadows. Who else do I really enjoy from the drugstore? Elf has some really great shadows. There are some better shadows at the drugstore, that's all I need to say. So while I haven't finished my makeup, I feel like I am ready to kind of give you my thoughts of these palettes. I really like this one. This is the one that I thought that I would like the least. When I found out that I can use this deep shade at the bottom on my cheeks and it looks beautiful, that made me appreciate this palette even more because I'm not limited to just using like these three light shades. I can probably, I know I can use this one on top of blush. I could probably use this one as a blush topper and this one as a blush topper. This one I would definitely use as like an inner corner highlight because it's a like white gold. It's a really yellow gold, like a yellowy white gold, if that makes sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could probably use 6 out of the 9 on my face, and then the other ones I could definitely use as eyeshadows, inner corner highlights, things like that, or I could use the deeper shades on my daughter with darker skin. So I like this one. I think my favorite out of the 4 is this one, which I was thinking, oh, I never really mix lip colors, I'm never going to use this, but when I read that I can use it on the cheek, I can customize my cheek color. And I have all of these options to play with, which is so much fun. It just so happened that I feel like I picked my perfect nude blush shade right off the bat. So I'm obsessed with that shade. Oh, these do have color names. So that one is Romance. So the one I used today is Romance, and I am obsessed with that. So if it comes out in a single or in a stick, I am definitely picking that up. So highly impressed with this. This will probably end up in a favorites video. The sculpting palettes, I like the brightening powder for under the eyes. This might be a fun inner corner highlight shade. It's almost like a bluish purple white shade. But I don't know. This one was straight up like orangey peach. This one banana. I never have luck with banana powders. This one was too cool. It ended up looking dirty on my cheeks, so it didn't give me the desired effect. This one was very warm. So really I'd be using this one and this one out of this palette. So I would say this one's a pass for me personally, but if you have a different skin tone, you might enjoy that. And I already gave you my thoughts on the shadow palette. While I love that they included color in here and that there's a nice mix of matte shades and shimmer shades, they just require a lot of building on the eyes, and I'd rather have a shadow that I can put down one or two swipes and then move on instead of packing it on and layering it on and dealing with all this dustiness all over the place. So those are my thoughts on this year's Pixi Pretty palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and as always, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.